Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Dear James and the Lady Jaclyn coming to you live with your current energy updates and intuitive insights, human design guidance. And remember, we're taking your questions live throughout the broadcast. So, in order for us to know that you're there, as the Lady Jaclyn would say, please comment and let us know, say hello, and that way we'll see you. We'll know that you're joining us. And then throughout, as we're going through, we're going to talk about the energies and the human design gates and all of that stuff. And then as we're going through, we will interlace all of your questions and see what the unseen and the human design guidance is for all of you. Good morning, Jaclyn. Good evening, I should say, to you.
Hello, everybody. Oh, it's so good. Listen, I am so excited for Wednesday. Like, Wednesdays are my favorite day now. Besides the fact that it is midweek, but honestly, these conversations light my soul on fire. So I'm super, super excited for tonight or this morning where you are and conversation.
It's the same. It's always like you and I, we kind of chit chat a little bit after each show, and we're like, we can't wait for the next Wednesday. This is so much fun, and we love doing it. And as we say too, Jaclyn, it's reciprocity. We are constantly in reciprocity with each other, with all of you that show up and participate and interact with us. So it's a gift in that way. And so we're honored and humbled and thrilled to do it. And we're thrilled and honored and humbled that you show up. And hello to Robin. She's saying hello. So hello, Robin. So Jaclyn,
Mm-hmm.
this month, this energy, this month, the what I received for everybody, it's like it's off the charts here. So it's going to be interesting to see what does the human design, because that's I'm always in awe of that. What are the current gates and everything? Let's start with that. You want to start with that? Like, let's
Mm-hmm.
see where the human design gates are and everything. Like, what's happening from that perspective, and then we'll jump in that way.
Beautiful. So what I want to do is, it's so interesting because I mean, first, happy 1st of December, everyone, because it's literally like the beginning of December, beginning of the last month of 2021. So I'm going to look to the right or to the left for you, but because I've got notes, because I wanted to make sure that I touched on all the points, because there's a
So we're experiencing a minor problem here with Jaclyn's connection and everything. So let's see what happens. We'll get her back in here and bring her forward. This is the world of technology. Obviously, coming up on Friday, we have a new moon solar eclipse. So we'll talk about that as well. So you can again see how energies, internet connections, anything to do that's like that, cars, electronics, frequencies, all of these things are going to be affected. And so as we are moving through this, we'll see how we're doing here to get Jaclyn back into the discussion. And as we await that, again, if you're joining us from around the world, please message us, let us know that you're there, and that we'll be able to take your questions live and everything is throughout the broadcast as soon as we get the Lady Jaclyn back. So hopefully her internet isn't going down completely. So let's talk about the current energies while we're waiting and what the numbers are, because that is obviously paramount to what's going on. And she just started to talk about it, that we are in the final month of 2021, a 5-year. And it's very interesting because the 5, of course, represents change. And here we're moving from this year of change, and one could say coming off the heels of epic change, into a 6-year. And a 6-year is about spirit and service. It's about how we show up in the world in a way that is new and that is really aligned with our core center. So this will be something that really resonates, and it's going to naturally move us. The energies, as I'm hearing it, the energies are going to move us. We're going to move with the energies. So don't be surprised if you literally see yourself moving, being moved, being forced out, pushed out, these types of things, because it's meant to. It's meant to move you forward. Um, and that is a big piece of this transitional month, this transitional moment, end of 2021 into the new of 2022, and more so than normal. So, we always have end of year or beginning of a new year, but this is an end of an era, beginning of a new era type scenario, type energy. Um, I'm going to see if I'm able to re-bring the Lady Jaclyn back in. And so if you all will bear with us just for a moment while we're trying to get her back online with us. And let me see what happens here. Fingers crossed. And see if she's able to come back in. And I'm just going to use my trusted iPhone here for a moment and see if I can message her and get her back online and everything with us. So please hold tight and be patient with us. Here she is. Perfect. So here we come. And let's see, there she is.
I thought as much because I was like, you are frozen. There's something happening. What's going on?
And I was, just so you know, Jaclyn, I was filling in and talking about the energies in terms of the 5, that this is a 5-year and we're moving into a 6-year, and that, 5 is about change, 6 is about spirit and service, and how literally these energies are going to move. The energy is going to move us. We'll move with the energy. And that if you actually are literally moving, or you're being forced to move, or forced out, or forced change, ultimately go with the flow, because this is about the 6-year, the 2022, 222. There's a little jingle I do. 222, it's for you. 222, we have works to do. It's not about work anymore. It's about works. It's about the joy, the abundance, the bounty of your soul aligning, so that in 2022, in this 6-year, you're absolutely just radiating your abundance, your vitality, your life force, your soul source connection. Work, as we know it, work is over. And so if you're in that energy and you're being forced out, moved between now, in this moment, that's why. So let's jump back in. Let's go to the Lady Jaclyn and jump into what she was talking about, and kick us off, Jaclyn, with the human design, what the current gates are and everything for the collective.
Awesome. Thank you. So, it's so interesting how you're talking about change, because that's exactly what the human design is showing us in terms of the transits. So at the moment, we're looking at the gate 9 in the sun. And that gate 9 is coming off of that sacral center, that life force energy. And the gate 9 is all about focus. It's all about attention to detail. So it's kind of looking at, where are you focusing your attention or your energy right now? Are you focusing too much in the future and therefore you're giving your energy away? Are you focusing on the past and therefore repeating past patterns that life is asking you to really think of and let go of right now, in order for you to step into, the newness that is going to be 2022, right? So with that gate 9, it's coming off that sacral center as well, which means that it's about that energy, but it's about in the now moment. Remember, our reality is only in the now. So our mind kind of tricks us to believe that there's a reality in the future, there's a reality of the past. We bring the past back into our reality of the now moment. So with everything that's going on as well, because there's a lot of energy, there's that fear train, I call it the fear train, of the energy, of the emotions that is felt in the collective at the moment. There's a lot happening globally on our planet. I mean, literally politically in the news. So it's kind of like, are you focusing your attention on things that you can't control, that are outside of you? Or are you actually allowing yourself to be in the moment and to kind of go through the necessary process of the letting go of the old patterns that are coming up? And because with the 5, the 5 is actually it's all about habits, right? So with the gate 5 is habits, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit. But I'm just swapping and changing quickly before I start the one thing. Let me finish the other thing. So with the gate 9, we've got the 16, which is in the earth. And that gate 16 is also about mastery over time. So it's kind of perfecting the skills over time. And mastery sometimes takes time. So with the 9 at the moment, everything that you're wanting to manifest is already there. So it's again checking in with your belief systems to see, hang on, do I believe that I'm the co-creator? I'm creating my reality, and all I'm actually doing is aligning my energy to the frequency of that which I want to create, which I want to attract into my life, because it's already there. It's there because I want it, right? And then also making sure that you're focusing on the necessary small steps in order to get to where you're wanting to go, right? And knowing and trusting that no matter how mundane the small steps feels, like, and that's where the gate 5 comes in with the habits. So it's looking at your habits right now. It's looking at what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day basis that's getting you closer to where you're wanting to be, while focusing on what's in your reality right now, and setting the intention for what it is that you're wanting to create, and the frequency that you're then aligning to in order to bring it to your reality. So that's like the first part. Does that make sense, James?
Yes, absolutely. And it's really beautifully how you articulated that, because again, are you bringing in the past into the present moment? And here's this intense focus on the 5 and the 6 change, this piece of, are you letting go of the past? Are you bringing it in with you? Because you're really being forced. I mean, the unseen, spirit, source, and symphony, the whole of the whole is saying, let go of the past so as to receive the future. And so here it is in perfect synchronicity with human design, with the gates. You're explaining it brilliantly, because if you're not letting go of it willingly, as I see in my head, there's the flashing lights, the caution cone and everything, and then there comes the cosmic 2x4. They're like, okay, you don't want to let go, no problem, wham. So there's all of this at play. And of course, we don't have to go to that degree. We can just willingly let go so as to move in. So yes, absolutely. Continue, Jaclyn. It's fascinating. I love this.
That's fantastic. And it's interesting because, again, I think it's about Friday or Saturday, we're moving into the gate 5, which is in the sun. So we're shifting from the 9 to the 5. And that 5 is all about the habits again. So we're looking at our attentions being brought to what it is that we're focusing in this now moment, right? What small steps can we take? How can we appreciate, give gratitude for those small steps, no matter how mundane they look, while looking and noticing what is coming up from the past, triggers to let go of so you don't bring it back into your reality. And then also looking at, how can I transform the habits of my day-to-day life in order to make sure that I'm in alignment with the frequency of that which I want to attract. Now, remember, I have this belief that we aren't, like, this creation process is that we don't have to go and hustle and work hard and force to create what it is that we want. The work that we're talking about, and this is, I think, the shift that you also kind of mentioning in terms of work, is the work is the frequency, the energy that you're portraying, that you're emitting, that you're putting out into the world, right? Is it one that's coming from a place of scarcity? Is it one that's coming from a place of like being ego-led, trying to control, trying to manipulate, coming from a place of that shadow side? Or is it coming from a place of knowing your worth, understanding your value? Your value is who you are, not what you do. It's speaking your truth. It's completely, embodying who you are as a human being, as a soul, as a person, as this vehicle, having this human experience, right? And if you're creating that frequency, which is on the higher level, which is actually in alignment of what it is that you want, that's how you attract. That's how the law of attraction works. So it's shifting the idea of this newness that we spoke about last week. It's there. It's already there. So what it is that you want, like the new house that you're desiring or dreaming of, the new partner, or the relationship, or the next level of your relationship, the career, the business, everything that you want, everything that you desire is already there waiting for you. All you're doing is aligning to it to bring it into your now moment,
Yeah.
right? But how you kind of keep it away from you is, that's where you get ego. That's where you're led by your ego. That's where that scarcity, that's that lack of self-worth, that's that not speaking your truth, that's being less than. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, it's very funny because as I speak to it, the present future, that energetic that you're speaking to, that higher octave energy, it's already there. It's already present. You can feel it. Like I know I'm personally very conscious of this up and over, higher octave. And when you were speaking about all these different, and I said, oh, all of the above. I mean, like you're wanting all of the above. It's there, and you can feel it. You can sense that energy. You know it's there, and yet there's also kind of the down and to the left, the present past, which can be what I call like the basement energy. It's like, it's like down in the basement, high above in the, high in the rafters. They're two different energies, and we're sitting right in that middle space of choose up and over, choose up and over. This is the way they keep coming in. So you're speaking to the human design elements of this exact energy.
Absolutely. I kind of want to, well, first of all, before we carry on, let us know how that resonates, guys. Like, drop us a comment so that we can see that you hear. Because remember, the only way we see you, like James mentioned, is if you comment or when you comment. Even if you're catching the replay as well, drop us your thoughts. Let us know how you're feeling about this right now in terms of where you're at. Do you feel like you can feel that higher frequency? Can you feel that something new is around the corner? Do you feel the impatience? Like I've really, I've had this dance with, like, I talk about dance of fear, but I've also had this dance with impatience of like, okay, I can feel you, like bring it into my reality now. But then I realized that it had to do with actually a deeper healing that I was doing. And through human design, I was able to articulate it. And that kind of stems to the next kind of, I want to say almost avenue of where I want to take the conversation, James. And that's all about purpose and knowing your path and having true fulfillment. Because for me this year, it has been about, like, through human design, I've realized that I've had the gate 32, no, not 32, 35 defined in my charts, but it's not naturally defined. So for this entire year, it's been defined. So through human design, you're able to pick up different charts so you can kind of see the projected energy or the potential energy that you have available for an entire year. So I did that for myself, and I look back and I realized that I had to experience the challenges of the 5 and the 35. So the 5 is all about stability and habits and creating structure and everyday, day-to-day steps. But also the 35 is about wanting change, so having the balance of both. And we spoke about this, where this year, nothing that I've planned out or set a goal towards manifested the way that I wanted to. So the universe was kind of testing me to see how much can you trust, what are your beliefs, what are your old patterns that are needing to come to surface to release. And also, like, instead of getting fulfillment from the external world, and that's kind of where the second theme comes from, is that purpose and fulfillment. Is, are we searching for purpose and fulfillment outside of ourselves? Or actually, is this an opportunity for us to actually go internal? And I think that's what kind of COVID did for us, is all to kind of isolate with ourselves so that we can go internal, so we can kind of figure out the process inside of ourselves and get the true fulfillment, which is internal and not external. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something about what, as you were just speaking to that, about how what you wanted to have happen and so forth, and then the universe, the unseen, had a different plan in it. And it's, of course, for everybody, it's the difference between the plan and a plan. And we are very much on the plan. There was a moment where we were, all of the past and everything. And even though universally we've always been on the plan, it's this moment that says it really is now. It's the plan. Soul source connection, soul leads, true north leads, the unseen, the heart center, the unseen leads. And so while we are, they always say life happens while you're planning. it's that it's that
Yep.
piece that speaks to that, because this is really a moment in time. And they keep saying this, and I'll bring this up in the intuitive insights. This is a moment in time that fundamentally everything just shifts from the way we know it. We go from a plan, kind of our plans, a plan, to full alignment, full unity with the plan. And the plan is your soul source connection with source. It's what our souls came to do an experience, not what the ego mind personality decides, negotiates, all this good stuff. It's like, no, we're done with that. And so that's something here, Jaclyn, that you're speaking to. I just want to bring in a couple of these comments. Nikki is mentioning that I've been feeling off the last couple of days. Emotions have run high in this house, and I'm hoping this feeling is starting to change for the good. So let's start with that for a moment, Jaclyn. I mean, so you are again experiencing people's frustrations, people's pain, because everything's energy. And so this energy that is moving everyone, it's going to move us forward. Everyone's feeling it. Everyone's kind of feeling, and you can see it if you tune into the news, which I really try to do limitedly, you can see the effects of people, in a sense, losing it.
Yep.
These acts of desperation, harm, hurt, yes, acts of goodness, absolutely. But we see on the news the less than good. So Nikki, just be really mindful. Breathe through these moments. Don't take things personally. It's kind of they're saying to me, water off a duck's back. It's like you have to kind of let it just roll off of you and keep staying in a state of grace and ease with yourself and with others, because that's going to usher you through. It's going to usher you into the new, and you'll be able to arrive there truly renewed, refreshed. If you buy into what's in front of you, if you buy into the energies that are surrounding you, these feelings of where it's, you were saying the emotions are running high and everything. If you buy into that, that's the experience you're going to have. Versus you can kind of just witness it, right, Jaclyn? We can stand back and we can say, I see you, I see it, I see you. But I get to choose how it affects me, how I engage or disengage with it. And that's very empowering, Nikki. So, and for everyone listening, this is a truth for everyone. How we engage with these things, how we stay focused, stay with grace and ease, stay in our center, will determine our, they're saying to me, our transition, so this is our transformation. Here's where we are. She's just saying, yes, I completely agree. Thank you, confirming how I'm dealing with this. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Jaclyn, before, do you want to step in, Ruark, and see his comment? And
I'd love to. So I'd actually love to quickly just talk to that as well. It's so interesting because with what's been happening at the moment, there's also a key theme of, because there's mental awareness and there's emotional awareness now. And emotional management and awareness of self. But then there's also a heart awareness. So it's like, and I've been playing over the last 2 years, this coherence between the heart and the brain, and understanding that when there's coherence, right, that everything flows, but that your heart is also a keeper for those deep rooted traumas or experiences or emotions that you're still kind of keeping locked inside of you. And at this moment, I almost feel that it's like the external trauma or the external chaos or the external stuff, let's call it stuff that's happening, is like a mirror for you to, when you're ready, your heart slowly opens up to these triggers and these traumas and these emotions that you're actually strong enough to feel. So if you're feeling low right now, it's because you have the strength to hold those feelings as they move through you, but then allow that the awareness of self comes, and the awareness of that heart awareness comes, and knowing that, hold on, I'm not identifying with how I'm feeling right now. I'm just feeling. So it's like giving yourself the permission to just feel. So many times that I know, I speak for myself, like I've been conditioned to, it's not okay to feel. Or I was told, oh, you feel too much, like you're too passionate, you're too emotional, like it's too much, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not too much. All I'm doing is mirroring back actually your emotions now that I understand the mechanics. But it's allowing yourself just to feel what's coming up so that you can identify what's behind what I'm feeling, because that is the truth. That's the pattern that life is giving me the opportunity to release, to reframe, so that I can make space for the new to come in. So it's actually like, it's reprogramming your mind to believe that when you're feeling low, it's bad. It's just a low moment. I feel the emotions. Cry if you want to cry. If you're feeling angry, like break something in a safe, like, way, like scream into a pillow, like let it out, let the emotions just flow. And that's especially now with everything. And I mean, listen, I'm very much the same with you, James, about the news. Like, I try not watch the news. I try not, like, I try keep informed to kind of know what's happening, but I don't kind of get overly consumed by it. But I'm also going through the process of, when I feel triggered, when I feel those emotions, I know, oh, okay, there's something behind that that's ready to come up, so that I can clear, so that I can bring in the new. Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And again, it's mindful for all of us to remember everything's energy. We're energy. The universe is energy. Everything's energy. So again, if it's coming up, recognize that it is exactly that. It's energy. Energy moves. It moves through everything. It resonates and reflects back through everything. You need not hold that energy. You need not identify that that energy is you. Simply recognize that that is energy. And what does it allow? What does it bring up? What is it mirroring to you, so that you're able to see it? Because it's not about, as we know, Jaclyn, it's not about looking outward at it. It's about, okay, now that I've seen it or interacted with this energy and so forth, I go inside. I look to see, what is it bringing up in me, because it's there for me. It's a reflection for me. It's bringing up a fear about this, or it's bringing up, happiness or joy, or, oh, it's bringing up a reflection of self-worth, self-value for me. Their energy is theirs. Their experience is theirs. Them mirroring something for me is mine, so that I can see, so it shines the light within me, so I can see my own light, so I can see my own shadow, so I can see my own reflection. And that's such a beautiful, it's important to remember that. It helps. And of course, just deep breaths. And Jaclyn, just to say, I can't imagine you ever being too much, because you're just amazing.
Well, thank you.
I'm just throwing that out there for everyone that's ever going to hear this in the stratosphere. Props to the Lady Jaclyn. Your energy is gorgeous, and you reflect that, and we all receive that, and it's really, really beautiful. Okay, Jaclyn, Ruark, you're most welcome.
So Ruark says, hey guys, I totally agree and resonate. I had a wobble a few weeks ago regarding past matters. However, I'm feeling content and putting full trust in the unknown. I actually want to rebuttal and ask a question to you guys that are listening or watching us. Do you, like, and this is talking about the emotions, like, do you allow yourself to feel? And like, ask yourself the question, like, am I allowing myself to feel? Like, let us know. Do you have a sense of awareness that, oh, okay, I'm just allowing myself to feel these emotions? Or do you kind of still play the game of resisting because of out of fear? You maybe don't want to go there. Maybe it's too dark. Like, let us know. Like, do you have a good relationship with emotions? Or is it still like that love-hate relationship with your emotions, where you kind of like, no, let me just park my emotions off to one side because I don't want to deal with them? So let us know what comes up for you. Do you have anything to kind of say to Ruark?
Yes, I just wanted to say, because it's coming in, you're definitely, I want you to really, really, really resonate with this and know this in your entire being, because they're saying to me, you are leveling up. And so the wobbly few weeks, this thing is about the attachments to the past, the attachments, and it's about letting go. It's the uncomfortableness in the uncertainty. And yet they're saying to me, you're certain, like, you do know these things. You're aware. It's just certainty and the uncertainty. And so it's uncomfortable. It's growing pains. It's expansion pains. However, rise, you are, and you will. So really go. They're showing me like what is it when you I would never do this, but when you jump out of the plane, you're skydiving, it's like this, whoa, and it's both the exhilaration, the freedom, the initial fear, and then this just kind of like one with this commanding presence. So you're really, really stepping into your own. You're stepping up and you're stepping into your own. So where you may, and it's very, I see again, Jaclyn, etymology of names, stark. It's a contrast. You know, it's very black or white. It's this contrast. It's stark. And this is where you're really, truly letting go of the past. It's black or white for you. It's going to be, and you're choosing well. You're choosing right, and you're choosing well and right for you. So while others may not like it or disagree with it or want you to be something you were that you're not and aren't anymore, I don't know why, Hail Mary, Queen of something is what's coming into my, it's like that thing, you remember that saying, Hail Mary, Queen of something. Anyways, you're on the right track. You are beautifully positioned. That's what was coming in for him. So
no, absolutely. Like, I mean, and I totally feel it because I know Rock and I know this is resonating with you. And I know, like, as a fellow projector, it's interesting because I always laugh with him. His surname, and it actually lines perfectly with his human design chart because he has only two, I think it's 2 or 3 centers that he's got, or 2 centers that he's got defined is his G center and his throat center. So it's almost like as if, you know, Iron Man with the heart center that like kind of like pushes out from the heart. And the way that his energy flows is literally everything from the center. So it's like we always say, like he's got Iron Man energy, and that's exactly it. It's like like he's actually you're embodying at the moment your projector self, which is and the past, because I know like it's almost like letting go of the old beliefs of what you think you're capable of and where you think you're needing to go versus what you're actually truly capable of and what actually the universe has in store for you. So that is so beautifully put, James. Thank you.
absolutely. So before we take Samantha's comments, and again, if you're listening and you're joining us live and everything, please say hello in the comments. And if you have questions for the Lady Jaclyn or myself from a human design intuitive insights perspective, please submit your questions and everything, and we will address them throughout the show. I just want to move into Jaclyn really quickly and give everybody the intuitive insights for the week because they're pretty powerful. And it's not really even just for the week, it's for this moment. And the first thing they said was breakthrough. It's a breakthrough moment. And they said reaching for the stars. And then the star card from the tarot, which of course is Aquarian. She's represented by Aquarius. And so here's this breakthrough moment. So literally we are at the precipice. We are at this moment that is a breakthrough moment, and reach for the stars. So whatever it is, and Jaclyn, you were speaking to this about the human gate 9, I believe, is the, this current energy of it's this higher octave. Reach for the stars. If you have dreamt it, if you live it, breathe it, taste it, if you desire it, you want it, go for it. Reach for the stars, align with that energy, knowing that it already exists, because this is a breakthrough moment. And the beauty is that the star card, of course, is the divine feminine. There's one large star with the 7 around her. And she is literally pouring soma both into the water and to the earth. So as above, so below, heaven and earth. The beauty of this and the purity of this soma, and this word comes up at the later. The second thing they said was up, down, rise, fall away. So what this means is to each person's soul choice during this breakthrough moment, this reach for the stars, you'll either rise or fall away. People within your life, your circle, will either rise or fall away. We are not meant to hang on to people. We are not meant to, oh, wait, no, don't do it, and don't leave, and don't do, no. To each their own. To each what has already, from a soul perspective, been chosen. So allow yourself and others to rise or fall away, to up or down. It's to each that the soul wishes to experience. And so, and with knowing that that is divine and neutral, we release judgment. Don't attach any judgment to their journey. And I'm reminded of a beautiful quote that the Unseen gave me some years ago, where they said, one of the hardest things is to allow another soul their journey. So sometimes when it looks challenging or hard or, these types of things, yes, it's hard to allow another soul their journey. However, that is what the soul came here to experience. So if we remove judgment, we'll see the divinity in it, the neutrality in it. Allow that. And then last, they said, two more things, sorry. Lastly, they said purity. And they said the act and art of reunification with the divine. So this breakthrough moment is about, and here, Jaclyn, you were speaking to this again from the human design aspect with the gates, not bringing the past in. We're purifying ourselves. The unseen, we are meant to release these impurities, these things that have been holding us back and down, and whether it's a thought, an act, a person, a place, whatever it may be, it's about purifying that, releasing those things so as to reunify with the divine. And something about this moment, Jaclyn, in terms of, so on Friday, as you mentioned, is this new moon solar eclipse. And it's happening at 12 degrees, 16 feet of Sagittarius. The Great Attractor is at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. And the Great Attractor acts like a black hole, but it's a massive, and it's outside of our galaxy. So it's this energy, this force that is pulling, gravitationally pulling us close to it. Oh, it's going to make me cry. It's the beauty of, like, what just hit me was this in this moment is, when you run as a child or something and your mom and dad come and they pull you to them, they hug you. They love you so much that you feel that pull. That is the Great Attractor. This is the reunification with the divine. It's bringing us back into harmony, love, unity, oneness with our ultimate parents, our ultimate caregivers, caretakers. And so that is really important to realize. Far from being abandoned or, released in a way, we're being drawn back home. We're being drawn back to our creator, to our parents, that kind of love is going to ripple out in a way that, really, you talk, Jaclyn, about coming, taking us to this higher octave. That's exactly, it's really truly coming home. And it's very emotional for me. The feeling that hits me is like, oh, it's just like such good love.
It's so brilliant, and I'm smiling so much because, listen, I think when you listen, I still am in awe with actually the universe and what the universe is capable of, because the synchronicity, like you were speaking, and I literally read, and it's so brilliant because I read through, with human design, I actually take a deeper look within the gates and I read the gene keys, because the gene keys adds a different frequency on top of the language of human design, which is, it's like deeper and it's transformational. And with the 9, it's about moving from inertia through determination into invincibility. And it's about this oneness. It's about focusing on the day-to-day life, but also knowing that the mundaneness, you actually transcend the mundaneness because you're determined based on the bigger picture of what you know is true. And the truth is the love. The truth is that we're one. The truth is that when you actually realize the deep power that you have within yourself because of where you come from and because of who you are and what you're made of, that's when you step into that invincibility. And that's exactly what you're talking about. And it's about really, like, I actually want to quickly see, because I actually wrote about like love, what it said. There was something, oh yes, when you also like love, so when you step into that love frequency, right, you actually, you're I want to say healing from the inside, and you're not looking for healing externally. So you're not looking for fulfillment externally, right? You're not looking for fulfillment from your partner, from your career, from what you're doing. You're actually feeling fulfilled because you're embodying that oneness, that truth, that love that James is talking about, that connection to who you are. Like, and who you are is so much bigger than just this body, this vehicle that you've been given to do, you know, the everyday tasks to get to that dream that you're wanting. It's so much more than that, right? It's like connecting to, actually, we're all in this play, and everything that's happening and it's going to happen in December, there's a lot of purging, and you're talking about that purification. There's a lot of releasing that which no longer serves you, and it's like reframing the mindset. And that's the one step of awareness as well. It's like reframing the mindset of when you're hitting a wobble, when you're feeling low, when you're hitting that frustration, when the relationship isn't working out, when you're hitting walls or ceilings in your career or your business, or, you know, your happiness. It's kind of going, hang on, I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful that it's coming up now, because I know that I need to release whatever I'm still attaching to, so that I can make space for that new to come in. So beautiful.
Yes, and Jaclyn, they're wanting me to articulate, like, in this lifetime, I've been very fortunate with the parents that I have, and my extended second parents and family and everything. I mean, truly, truly blessed, and they're reminding me to share with everyone, while we have that, and while we may or may not have it, if we focus beyond, take that on through, because remember, our parents were someone's child, and they were someone's child, and they, in essence, everyone is a child of the Creator. When we focus on that love, those parents, the ultimate parents of all of us, of every generation that's come before us, that's what's on offer at this moment. That's what's returning. That's what's going to come forward. So should you be struggling in this moment, focus on that love, that unity, those parents, certainly with your own, but expand your perspective of who you are, who you truly are. Because our true ultimate parents are the great mother, the great father, this is where we come from. It's where we will return. It's where we go to. So, and that is so pure and so good, and so loving, that they are bringing us. They never left us. We never left them, but they're bringing us closer. They're bringing us back in. It's kind of like we're being brought back into the fold in a way that we haven't experienced in a very long time. And so that's on offer to everyone, and they were wanting me to share that, or expound on that statement. Jaclyn, do you want to, Samantha, and again, everyone, please submit your comments, say hello. If you have a question, put them in the comments so that Jaclyn and I can see them, and we will take them throughout the broadcast. Go ahead, Jaclyn.
Fabulous. Thank you. So Samantha says, hello, happy Wednesday. I do feel the recent past coming up and the new energy and experiences to come too. The recent past is about a guy of the male carrier. And I guess I feel fearful for the future involving receiving, finding a future man. And from a time in my past experience, emotional abuse from my father, I get even more fearful of whether I am finding or letting the right person in. So this question, I think, is actually it's probably one of the, I don't want to say most frequently asked questions, because we're humans, we're not designed to do life on our own, right? So we're always asking for a significant other or the other person that we want to connect with and do life with. And I'm going to look at it from a broader perspective. And obviously, as you dive into your chart, you can really see, like what is it for you that's kind of keeping you from, again, aligning to the frequency of that which you're wanting to attract. And it goes for all of us. So if you're thinking of, gosh, when is the love of my life, the person who I feel connected with, that I want to share life with, that I want to do things with, that I want to grow with, that I want to transform with, when is that person coming into my reality? If that person isn't in your reality yet, it's because, number one, are you actually in the frequency to meet the person that you're wanting to attract? Meaning, if you are wanting love in your life, it's because, are you wanting, like, do you believe and do you honor and do you have patience in the receiving of that love when it is time for you to receive, which means there is no limitation, there's no feeling of lack, there's no fear. And in Samantha's case, there is fear. So I already know that the frequency sound that you're putting out is that of fear, which is scarcity, which is limitation, which is not the frequency of the person that you're wanting to attract, right? Now, you're going to attract people, but they're potentially going to be on the equal frequency of that which you're putting out, which is probably giving you more fear, giving you, more worry, giving you like that more, like that not like true connection, no true connection. So again, it's looking at, if you don't have what it is that you're wanting in your life right now, check in with yourself and see, what frequency am I vibrating at? Is that the frequency of that which I'm wanting to attract? The person, the career, the experience, whatever it is, right? And then also knowing and trusting that, hang on, if they're not in my reality yet, do I even have space for them right now? Like, is it the right timing of the universe? And this is exactly what we were speaking about earlier. It's like divine timing. It's right timing. And this is what you were speaking about, James, which is the plan. So we have a plan, but the universe, life, source has a different plan, a plan that actually sometimes we can't understand because it's bigger than what we are dreaming of, or it's bigger than what we can think of or can imagine right now. So if you don't have a partner right now, it's not because you're not designed to, it's because that fear that's coming up this is the right time for you to acknowledge, hang on, I still have fear that I will attract based on my past experience. Therefore, I've got to forgive, heal, and then honor what I've learned, the wisdom that I've gained, the person that I am, and step fully in your trust of self, knowing that as long as I do me, and I be me to the best of my ability, I'm going to attract the person into my life. So Sam, right now, and for everyone else, if you don't have what you have, right, if you don't have what you want right now, check in with your frequency and then give gratitude that the fears that are coming up, the triggers that are coming up is coming up for you so that you can become aware of them and so that you can release them, so that you can accept them, so that you can move past them and you can reshape them, so you can create the space needed for that thing, that person, that experience to come into your life. Makes sense, James?
Yes. And to add on to that, Sam, while Jaclyn was speaking in beautiful words of wisdom and everything, they were also saying then you need not repeat the past. So in reference to the comment with your father and your relationship and so forth, and then how that's playing out, you need not repeat the past. And so, and one of an amazing woman who was my clairvoyant, intuitive guru, if you will, for many years and everything, she offered this advice, which they're wanting me to share with you. And basically what she said was, date the big G, the big G, God, source, date source, symphony, spirit. And what that means is, instead of your focus being on literal people, you're in essence asking God, spirit, source, symphony, however to go on dates, to go do things with you, so that you then come to really love your own company. And while you're then not focused on finding the right person, or your focus isn't on, am I missing the mark? Am I repeating the past? Am I choosing the wrong person? And as Jaclyn just articulated, is my current energy bringing in somebody that is resonating to that level, which is not the energetic level of what I want? Date yourself, date the office, your date who you go with, and you literally say, okay, spirit, okay, symphony, okay, source, okay, what do we want to do? Let's go on a date. Where are we going? What are we going to do? And the more you do that, the more it's like you soften. You come into this beautiful alignment and love of and with yourself, so that when the person comes in, it's as if you won't recognize that person because you don't recognize yourself anymore. It's like you've been so preoccupied, focused in the right place with the right person, you, with spirit, source, and symphony, with your soul source connection, that you're like, what happened? It naturally, in other words, it naturally happens. You organically, naturally rise. These elements naturally, organically fall away, because what you're doing is you're dating spirit, source, and symphony. You're taking your soul out on a date. You're connecting with your soul. And that will move mountains. That will completely obliterate a lot, because if you're focused on the other, that's the experience you're going to have. And you're going to keep drawing it to yourself, and it's cyclical. And again, remember, Sam, this is a breakthrough moment. Reach for the stars. So date literally date yourself, which is dating soul source connection, spirit source symphony, the big G, the head office. You're like, yeah, and what would he or she, what do we want to do? Oh, you want to go walk in the park and pick flowers? Let's go do it. And you'll be amazed. Oh, you want to go see this movie? Let's go do it. It's such an empowering gift. It was really priceless words of wisdom, because it changes you. So that's what came through for Sam. Jaclyn, you want to catch up with some of the Nikki and Rourke and comments coming in, down and through?
Absolutely, yes. So, Nikki, I completely agree. Thank you for confirming how I deal with it. Rourke says, haha, thank you so much. I'm actually starting to tear up with joy. Then Nikki also says, I can see this in my situation too. I'm getting a lot of these emotions and situations coming up to deal with them, to let them go. The only issue is that I keep finding myself attracting to people, yet I believe I'm not ready yet. So that again is exactly what we're talking about, is that's on the opposite end of the spectrum, which is again those fears, the fears that are coming up. Why do you feel like you aren't ready yet? Is it because you maybe don't want to, like you're in a comfort zone and you know what's going to happen if the person comes in? There's a level of change you're going to experience. So it's kind of like, again, check in with the resistance that's coming up for you, because exactly what James is talking to, when you're in the frequency of that which you're wanting to attract, it'll kind of naturally just flow, right? So practically, like, let's talk about practically what that looks like. And James, you spoke about this, where you're like, you take yourself out on a date. So it's kind of looking at, if you're feeling like you're missing love at the moment, or you're missing connection, or you're missing, I want to say love, like that feeling of like the other, but it's that, what is it behind that feeling? It's the love, it's the connection, it's the, like the comfort and the touch. Do you love yourself? Like, how can you actually love yourself today? Maybe you have to run a bath for yourself. Maybe you have to romance yourself. Maybe you have to put on beautiful music, light a candle. Maybe you got to buy yourself a bunch of flowers or a box of chocolates, and that's the practical. That's what we're talking about when we say, whatever you feel like you're wanting to attract that you don't already have, instead of coming from the place of I don't have it, step up to the place of I have it, therefore it will be into my reality. There's just a bit of a lull, because my timing is not universal timing. So how do I ride out that lull, that waiting for that which I want to be into my reality? I live what I'm wanting right now. So if you want love, live love. If you want connection, if you want affection, give yourself affection, give yourself connection. How can you connect with another human being in the way that you want to feel connected? How can you love yourself in the way that you want to be loved? How can you treat yourself, spoil yourself in the way that you want to, be spoiled and treated and loved and communicated with? Like, how many times you want to have that connection with another person, and you want to have this like I sometimes catch myself going, oh, I long for really good, deep connections, like conversations with like a partner. And then I'm like, okay, but am I having deep communications and conversations with myself the way that I'm wanting to have, So I literally have conversations with myself by journaling. And I journal out and I have these. And when you're done, it's like increased serotonin. You automatically feel fulfilled, because what you're searching for is what you have already. And instead of looking for it outside of you, you actually look at it internally. Therefore, it's like this oneness that we were talking about. Because we think about it, like when you think of, I don't have the relationship yet, it's because you feel like you will feel fulfilled, you will feel happy, you'll feel love when you have it. Instead of, how can I feel love? How can I feel fulfilled? How can I feel happy while it's arriving into my reality, because I'm already connected to it? Does that make sense?
Yes. And that's exactly, Jaclyn. They're reminding me to share the one relationship that we come in with and that we leave with and is there eternally is with Source. It is your soul source relationship. We're never alone. We're not alone. And so instead of experiencing ourselves, as you just said, by externally looking out or bringing in people, and Nikki, it's important too to add on to this piece of, if you're not ready, it's a sign to, to pay heed to that as well, because it's also saying to you, there's something I have yet to deal with. So I can deal with that with my soul source relationship, my relationship with the unseen, which is ever eternal, ever present. It is the one relationship that is consistent and constant, yours and Source. Humans, people, we come in and out of each other's, a reason, a season, a lifetime. Your soul source connection, your soul and Source together, it's eternal. So you may, again, this is like we were speaking with Sam, what's on offer is for you to experience that relationship, which is the most important. It's the highest one. It's the deepest one. It's the ever-present one. And that will expand you and allow you to then go and see, as Jaclyn just said, she journals. They may say, you know what, let's go take a walk in nature, in the woods, along the waterfront. For Jaclyn, biking, for me, hiking or something, and the minute that you're in that space and you just kind of sit down and take in Source, most times far surpasses any date or, human relation, because it's of such a high octave and caliber, and it allows you to move through things very quickly. So that's on offer to everybody. So if you're not ready for something, pay attention to that, because there's that expression, Jaclyn, it's easy to get into a relationship. It's extremely hard to get out of one. It takes far more effort to get out of a relationship than it does to fall into one, to get into one. And if I'm not ready, then you need to address what's not ready within you. Because otherwise, you're going to fall into a relationship, attract someone to you, and then you're going to work out that not ready with them. And that...
So well put.
Yeah, I mean, that can be so entangling. And again, it may be that that's the way your soul chose to do it, or souls, there's two of you. But it may not. You need not do it that way. you can date yourself and your soul source connection, and see where that leads you, where that takes you, and how rapidly these things fall away, you expand, how differently you attract different people, different energies, this type of thing. Sam said, thank you, James and Jaclyn. Nikki said, yes, thank you. I tend to do a few of those things. And lastly, lastly, Nikki said, I never thought of journaling like that. Thank you. But you're right. I feel much happier after journaling. It's very true.
Absolutely. So, guys, we've hit the hour mark. We want to be very conscious of the time. So what we want to do is just kind of give gratitude and thank you for this space. I kind of want to just give gratitude for this space, you know, to be able to connect. For me, this is such a, it's literally in my calendar every Wednesday for the next couple of weeks already. So it's like people don't even get a chance. They're like, what are you doing Wednesday nights? I'm like, no, listen, I've got a prior engagement. It's set in stone. So for me, it's such a beautiful opportunity just to converse, to kind of see, you know, what's there for the energy, to have these beautiful conversations, to kind of connect on a different frequency, because it's a very different frequency, but also to hold space for you guys, you know, for you to really ask your questions, for us to intuitively and through the beautiful tool of human design to be able to guide you and hold space for you. These are very, like, you know, the conversations are very deep conversations, but both myself and James, you know, what we do is we hold space for you and we give you practical guidance so that you can actually also go and implement every single day, so you can have that transformation and that change from the moment that you leave our energy. And that's kind of what inspires us. You know, it's not just having the conversation, it's really about guiding you to practically get to your next step quicker, so that you can bring in that new, so that you can attract that partner that you desire, so that you can be the person that speaks their truth, that lets go of the past, that truly steps into your potential. Because that's what we really do believe, and we see for each and every single one of you, your truest potential, your capabilities. And we are so grateful to be able to have this time and this space where we can hold your energy and guide and support you. James, do you want to say anything?
Yes, and just, you know, to and in reciprocity with all of that, to say thank you to all of you that show up in this space, in this container with us, because Jaclyn and I then literally, because of your courage, because of your willingness to show up and to really shine your light and bear your souls with us, you allow Jaclyn and I the beautiful gift and reciprocity of learning, expanding, and listening to the unseen, and utilizing the really magnificent tool of human design to effectuate change, to see things from a new perspective. I mean, it's really, it's such a gift. I mean, Jaclyn and I talk about this, you know, offline, that it's such a gift. And so to all of you listening, to all of you who show up, to all of you who bear your souls with us in this trusted moment and container, thank you for that, because we grow, we learn, we receive because of all of you. And so it's just such a beautiful, beautiful shared experience. And the Lady Jaclyn and Dear James are forever grateful. So until next week, next Wednesday, as the Lady Jaclyn says, we're booked. We're confirmed for Wednesdays. And thank you, Kyle. He's saying, I really enjoyed this. Thank you, guys. It's our pleasure. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And until, and Ruark, thank you to your guidance and support. And Kyle says, I was listening while making dinner. Oh, we love you, Kyle. He's making dinner. He's got to be on your time zone, Jaclyn. And Jaclyn, you want to grab Nikki's last comment, and then we'll say goodbye to everyone until next Wednesday. Nikki's comment. This has been amazing. Thank you both so much. I will catch up with the replay at the beginning ASAP. See you all next Wednesday. We love you all. Thank you. And until next Wednesday, be well and go forth and conquer. It's breakthrough moments.